From North Korea to Russia, our next guest is in the center of it all.
And in some respects, so is Shannon Bream, with what many would call a dream job.
I love what I do. It feels like a huge blessing and a gift.
As host of Fox News at Night, she covers the biggest headlines and names behind them. We met up at the Museum of the Bible to talk about her new book, Finding the Bright Side, and how she got to where she is today. Shannon grew up in Florida, going to church and Christian school, eventually choosing Liberty University for college. That's where she met her husband, Sheldon.
You know, we had friends who kept trying to put us together, saying, you would like this guy, you would like this girl. We were always dating other people. And we had a friend in common who finally came to me one day and she said, you're here at this football game, he's here at this football game, you're going to meet right now.
While at Liberty, Shannon took the crown as Miss Virginia. She went on to law school at Florida State and more pageantry, winning the Miss Florida title.
The finalists for the title of Miss USA 1995. Miss Florida, Shannon Noel Debut.
It was around this time Sheldon proposed, but not long after their engagement, Shannon writes about what she calls the darkest cloud, when Sheldon was diagnosed with a brain tumor.
To get those words, to get that news, it's totally out of left field and so unexpected.
She says the church was a huge support, from diagnosis and surgery to Sheldon's difficult recovery.
We would get letters or notes or calls from people from churches we'd never heard of, never visited, didn't know anyone there, but they said, we heard about your story and we just wanted to let you know that we're praying for you. And as a Christian, it was just so overwhelming to know that there were people who were just the body of Christ that we would never meet.
Newly married and out of school, Shannon learned quickly law wasn't for her and started interning at a local news station.
I eventually decided a few months into that, I loved it so much. The police scanners and the breaking news and just the unpredictability of live television that I decided to kind of take the leap there.
She eventually got hired at the CBS affiliate in Charlotte, North Carolina.
WBTV News 3.
After a short stint there, NBC in Washington picked her up.
We're going to have that story
It was at a speaking conference where she met Fox News' Britt Hume. When he learned about her legal background, he offered her a job on the spot.
I had the opportunity to sit down with President Bolsonaro today.
It didn't take long for Shannon to begin moving up at Fox, filling in on the anchor desk, and eventually getting her own show.
Fox News at Night with Shannon Bream.
One major trial she's had to deal with is her eyesight.
Around my 40th birthday, I started to have extraordinary pain in my eyes, and it was only happening overnight.
She says doctors were unable to help her. The excruciating pain and sleepless nights went on for almost 2 years, bringing Shannon to a breaking point. Shannon says she and Sheldon prayed, if not for healing, for someone who could at least help her. And that prayer was answered. Shannon found a doctor who was able to diagnose her, but he was upfront and let her know there would be no cure.
But I just sat there crying in my car and just saying to the Lord, this is it. This is the end for me. There's nothing else I can do and I cannot live this way. And I explain in the book how I'm not someone who ever feels like I've audibly heard the voice of God, but I felt in my spirit and I heard him say to me in that moment, I will be with you.
Shannon went back to that doctor who was able to help her manage the pain and eventually recommended surgery. Today she says her eyes are not perfect, but they're about 95% better than they were. As for what's next, she's not sure, but is keeping an open mind and heart.
So I try to say to myself, this is the season that the Lord has you here. Don't hold too tightly to it because you don't know what other adventures or things are coming down the line. And I just try to be open to what the Lord may have next.